Ooh, here it is. All right. Do I hit play then? I think we're here. Can you guys hear us? Did it work? Hey. Hi, Ben. All right. Yep. They can see us. Jared is desperately trying to spend another night. Spend another day. All right. Now I've got commercials. Don't want commercials on my phone. So how are you? Hi.
Hey.
Welcome back.
I need a hit of this right now.
I'm going to put my phone down because it's on the iPad. Yes.
Yes, we are live. Holy cow, that was a close one. We were having all kinds of... My computer was acting up. It was just... Or YouTube, something. Anyways, hello everybody. Apologize for the wait.
Yeah, that sucked, but... Good for you. Got it worked out.
Trust me, it sucked worse for me because I'm over there freaking out.
Right.
Now I got to regain my composure.
I know. You got this.
Yeah, we got this.
We got a lot of good stuff to talk about tonight. Everybody's buzzing about the Kemper stage.
I know.
I know. They're like, hey, I'm here to hear about the Kemper stage. I'm like, yeah, I think you got a little Helix stuff to work through here.
Yeah. So what we're going to talk about today is Helix just did an update, 2.80. And so I'm going to basically dial in the Rev amp, the red channel that they gave us, and dial it in from scratch. And I'm also going to utilize some Live Ready Sound impulse responses, and maybe we'll check out some own hammer ones as well. And I'm going to go ahead and use the new pedal they gave us, the King of Tone pedal.
Did you bang it on the side?
I'm about to throw it out in the road.
You just gave it a good kick.
Yeah, jeez. It was just like offline. Anyway, so I'm going to do the King of Tone pedal. I'm going to show you how to dial that in properly. I've never used one, so this was kind of a first for me when I dialed in the patch the other day and uploaded it to the sharing place at Line 6. And it was kind of fun to get to know the pedal. There's a lot of options on it. So I was like, all right, I just stripped everything down and started adding things until I thought it sounded good. So if there's anybody here familiar with that pedal, please interject, because we want to learn from you as well as you learn from us. So, and then after that, we're going to show you the video that Kemper released today about the new Kemper stage, which everyone's like buzzing about, and you know, it's funny, everybody's got like an opinion, whether they like it, they don't like it, it's ugly, it's gorgeous, how much is it going to be?
I thought everybody was going to be happy with it. We were the anticipation, and then when I started reading the comments, I'm like, oh, why did they hate it?
Well, some people hate it, some people love it. You know, that's the way it goes with everything. But you know, good products will always polarize. Yeah.
Ooh,
so.
jinx.
Yeah. So they'll polarize, and you know, the thing is you know, public's never happy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And some people, well, we'll get into all that when we talk about it.
Let's do the Helix first.
Let's do the Helix first. Let's say hi to some people first.
Hey, Vocal Pathfinder.
Hey, what's going on, Dan? How you doing, man? MK, what's going on, man?
What is this? Oh, he's talking to somebody else on there. Never mind. I'll let you guys have your own conversations.
You guys just talk amongst your damn selves.
That's right.
All right, so let's get started with the Helix thing. 2.8 was released. There's a bunch of amps that we got. The one that I would use is the REVV generator, and they gave us the red channel. I guess the purple channel's coming soon. You know, your favorite color.
Purple.
Yeah, you like purples.
My favorite.
So that one's coming soon, but this one's actually pretty good. I think a lot of people are probably going to switch to this, the metal guys, because it's new. Yeah. You know, it's got the new car smell. Mm-hmm. But it's actually pretty good for what the Helix offers. Yeah. I think it sounds pretty freaking good. So I'm going to give you a quick clip of what it sounds like for now, and then we'll go ahead and open up a new spot and...
is this something that I have to do too?
Yeah, just mute, if you could mute the mic. Yeah. Okay, so that's it. And I say this every time. Sorry about the repetitive riffs, but because YouTube has all these algorithms that catch you playing cover songs and stuff like that, I don't want to get demonetized. And I have my typical tire kicking riffs of what I like to hear when I'm checking out an amp, and hopefully they work for you guys too. I'll try to come up with new ones to keep it more interesting in the future.
Like, everybody has their tire kicking style, though.
They do.
You gotta know. You gotta hear what you gotta hear.
I just wonder if people are thinking, do you know anything else? Like, really? Yeah, I do. I know 3 other chords.
Aaron Short says, how does the Rev sound with single coils?
I don't know. I could put it on... What's up, Aaron, by the way? I could put it on, like, the middle, the coil tap here and show you. Go ahead.
Are you running 4 cable?
No, this is just straight out.
Okay.
Yep.
Here goes. I'm going to mute.
So that's with the coil tap, and it's not my favorite sound. I never use it unless I'm clean. So if you like that, great. There's a jack for every Jill, right?
Keith says, hey, Jared, the patch you shared was great. Not one EQ. Laugh out loud.
Thank you. Yeah, you don't need 50 EQ blocks and 20 compressors to make a patch sound good. If you do, then either the product that you're using is subpar, or maybe you need some help, right? On figuring out how to do things a little easier or better.
Aaron
says
thank you. It's still pretty fat.
Still pretty fat. Yeah. Well, we fed it. Yeah. I bumped the mids on this, and I got a lot of really good feedback. I mean, you
sent it out for some opinions.
Yeah,
right?
I sent it out, and I put it up on the tone sharing thing on line 6, and it's got, I don't know, last I checked it was just under 100 downloads and stuff, and people were really liking it. And I got some really good feedback from people like, you should have nudged the mids. And you know what? I kind of agree that the mids could have been nudged a little, on the on the patch itself. And I'll do that today, show you a couple things. I got kind of distracted. It's a long story, but I got kind of distracted in the middle of doing this yesterday, and I kind of got out of the headspace for about an hour. So when I got back to it, I had to figure it out.
Ben's screaming at us right now.
Oh, what's he saying?
He says, wait a minute, you don't need a compressor and EQ after the reverb block?
Nope. I don't know anybody that puts... Well, there's probably a couple people that put that there, but they ate lead paint chips as a child. So... Just kidding. So here's what I'm going to do. All right. So here are the settings. You can see them, on the amp. But let's go ahead and start from scratch. Let's just come up with a new preset. Bam. Nothing there. Nothing up my sleeve.
Phil says output to the Friedman.
Tonight I'm going direct, right to the interface. That way there's no room noise or anything like that. It's just direct out, and I feel it.
Some room noises they probably don't want to hear.
No. So, it's definitely something.
Just mute that mic.
Mute that mic for them room noises. There's a cough button and a fart button, right?
Any thoughts on the Tilt EQ?
I haven't used it. I don't... The thing is I'm not a big believer. I don't use... Okay, just so everybody knows, full disclosure, the global EQ on my Helix I've never touched. It's flat. It's whatever it is at factory. Probably everything's at 12 o'clock. There's no global on this. And I never put EQ blocks in my patches because I want to treat this like an amp. Like, here's the thing. How many stages have you been on where you've looked at other guitar players' pedal boards and you see an EQ pedal on there? I mean, I've never seen... I know they sell them, and there are guys that use them. I've never seen it. And to me, it's kind of like, I just think that if your amp needs that much doctoring, then you're playing the wrong amp.
The wrong amp, yep.
You're either that or you just haven't dialed it in properly. So I'm not going to put EQ blocks in my chain because I just feel like that's just too much doctoring. And on top of that, when you go to a studio or you go on stage, usually the sound guy is going to EQ you for his room and his board and his system anyways. So now you got an EQ'd processed thing, and it just turns into this overly processed tone. So the less artificial things that you add and take away from your tone, in my opinion, the better, especially with metal.
Scott says, can you play solo lines to help gauge the patches?
Yes, I can, and I will for you. They'll probably be a little sloppy, but hey, that's what we're doing here tonight. So let me do this. Let me pull up the amp, all right? And go to guitar, dial down to the old... I feel like that Happy Trees guy right now. We're going to find a happy little amp.
Right.
And I probably passed... There it is.
Throw
Red
some
General
sunshine on there.
Uh-huh.
Create a wave in the water. A ripple.
Yeah. All right, so here is the impulse response. Okay.
Do you low-high cut your IR?
It depends. That's a good question. It depends on what it needs. Like for now, I'm just going to do like a quick impulse response. I won't do a low and high cut at first. I'll just play it, direct, and then we'll see what it needs and see what you guys think too. I'm listening through my KZ AS10 5-driver per side in-ears, and they sound really good. So.
And I'm still listening through mine too.
Yeah, because you ain't received your new ones yet.
Gosh darn it! I'm getting worried now. It's a lot of money to be spent and waiting a month.
Yes, it is, but we'll get you there. All right, it's called the Tone Sovereign, which is the King of Tone overdrive pedal. So we're going to go ahead and put that in.
What was that top one called?
Tone Sovereign?
No, the top one on the list.
I don't know. What was it? Let's see. Kinky Boost?
Yeah, I thought it said boot. Kinky boot.
Yeah, well, I know where your brain's at. You want boots all the time. So.
I do.
Okay, so here's how it is right out of the box with all those settings, and obviously I'm going to change them. Yeah, go ahead and mute it.
I'm going to mute it.
All right, so that sounds pretty good. I don't really have anything bad to say about it at all, but we'll go ahead and change some things. Okay, so what we have here...
What are you changing?
All right, so we're going to do the clipping to... no, we don't want that. Overdrive. So we're going to do that. And we're going to do the gain mod to higher, because why not?
Because why not?
Because why not? Okay. Gain clipping to overdrive. So we want both on overdrive. Let's see what that sounds like. Go ahead and mute it.
Yep.
Alright, that sounds pretty good. It's tighter. It's getting a little tighter. So let's turn these levels up a little bit here. Presence, resonance, tone 2. I'll turn the gain all the way down on these. And see, because we don't want to oversaturate it, Because then you start running into just oversaturated tones. Let's see how this sounds. Well, I mean, that sounds pretty good. That's a really usable tone for the Helix. So I mean, that's not bad at all. So we have the drive at 4.1, bass 4.6, mid at 6.3, and there's kind of, I wouldn't say a mistake, but I brought those down to 4.9 originally, and I thought it sounded really good, but some people were saying the mids are a little scooped, and every amp's different.
Yeah.
Some amps are, more mid-rangey than others, and you would adjust the mid-range accordingly. She was even saying, it's a little, I don't know. And, like I said, I got really distracted with some stuff yesterday that I don't want to get into, but it kind of got me out of the headspace of what I was doing. So then I had to rush and get it done. So
I felt so bad. He worked so hard on it all day, and I'm like, I don't know.
It sounds good. It's just... it's all subjective, but
Can you detail the signal chain?
Yeah, signal chain is basically guitar into my Shure Wireless, into the Helix, from the Helix into my our soundboard, which is the Line 6 M20D, and then from that into my PreSonus interface.
It's crazy how you
computer.
can remember all these numbers and letters.
Yeah, I know, it's crazy. Yeah, especially after the day I've had.
Aaron wants to know what's your tuning.
Oh, this is drop.
Ah, you can't remember.
Drop something.
D?
It's tuned down a half step, so it's drop B, drop A flat. I don't know, something. I can't remember.
All of them were mentioned.
Oh, you know what? I'll know right now.
Oh, here you go. Tune it. Oop. Ooh.
Just lost my. Find out.
A flat.
Yeah, drop A flat. Sorry, I can't think right now. Okay, so so basically what we have is these settings, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn the sag down a little bit. I don't really like sag.
Sag's bad.
Sag. But let's turn the aggression up to 2. Let's turn that up because I want a little more aggression.
What IR are you using?
I'm using the Live Ready Sound Mini Metal Pack.
Mini
right
Metal
now.
Pack?
Yeah, it's number, I think it's number 5. Yes, number 5. Yeah, the 5th one. Okay, so let's listen to how much more aggressive that is. Go ahead and mute the mic, please.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really tight and really like percussive,
Not flubby,
and responsive, and yeah, most importantly, not flubby. So we don't like flub here.
No flub.
You know, no flubs. So this actually, this sounds really good. It's a good workable tone. And then, so yeah, like the King of Tone pedal, which is the Tone Sovereign, pretty simple. Just turn the gain all the way down because you don't really need all this extra gain. And to put the clipping 1 and 2 to overdrive, because that's what you want to use it for, most likely anyways, is overdrive. I'm not a big fan of clean boosts because they still feel a little liquidy to me. I like something that's a little stiffer. So personally, in my humble opinion, the overdrive settings are usually better for me. Everybody's different, but that's kind of what I like. And I left the tone the same. The presence I kind of left at 0. I know on my initial patch I turned it up a little bit. Turn it up for whatever your needs are. Your guitars, you know, if you're in a band with other guitar players or keyboards, you might need a little more cut to kind of cut through all that stuff, or less depending on what you're doing. So
you might not sound amazing by yourself, but in a mix.
Yeah, in a mix is really what's important. But it should sound great by itself too, though. And you're right. That's a good point. But there's a fine line, because there's some guys that make patches and they're like, yeah, it sounds great, you know, and they show you in a mix and you play it by yourself and you're like, I can't play this at home and practice it, though. It's got to do both. It's got to sound great by itself and cut through a mix properly.
Yeah, Joseph says, I love a good dry gain, not a lot of compression, sizzles.
Yeah, no sizzle, no. I hate compression because I've tried it, because there's a guy that makes presets and he puts, you know, compressors on them, and it's like, it always feels like I'm playing rubber band strings. And when you dig in, there's no percussiveness. It's kind of gooey, and there's no attack. So it kind of pulls that out, and I don't know any metal player that would want that. And you know, like we mentioned, like having a EQ on your pedal board. I would never have a compressor on my pedal board either for like a distorted amp. I just wouldn't do that. I'd use it for cleans, but never for distortion. That's just weird, you know.
I think Phil wants to know what you're drinking. It's not Gentleman Jack, though.
No, it's I brought this down because I knew somebody would ask. It's Oak and Eden, and there's an oak cask in there. It's really cool. Or Spire, yeah.
Spire. Spiral, anyway.
Oak Spire in there that kind of seasons it, and it's really good. So let's add a delay. Why not?
Ben says, will you ask Tim to sell the mini metal pack on Live Ready Sound website? Decent people can't buy it until he puts it in there.
Yes, I will.
What is that?
I'll message him tonight, I promise. I will. So, alright, so here's the settings I'm using. Hopefully you guys can see this. I always go for like 850 milliseconds for leads because it gives you enough space to let your notes kind of end, but also kind of hand the torch to the next note, you know, if that makes sense. And for like big singing solos and stuff, it really gives you a lot of presence and fullness. So that's it's probably a pretty good setting right there. Go ahead and...
Yeah.
Couple of flubs, but hey, you know, it's not a performance, it's just a demo. But so it gives you some good delay. But here's what I noticed though: I need more sustain. So because I need more sustain, let's go back, and this is why you do this. You do your tire kicking riffs because you do some solos, you do some
Things
some
that you're
riffs.
used to.
Yeah, things that exactly like things that are familiar to you that you're used to getting a certain response out of your amp with, so that when you do play them on this, you're like, well, you know, all right, I can't do that on this for some reason, and it's not my fault. There's something going on here. So we need a little more drive. You know, so let's bump this up to let's go up to 5.5 and see if that solves the problem. Let me make sure that I got everything on here right. Okay, so I got the gain at 0. Ooh, level. There's the problem. I didn't turn that level up. Levels should always be at 10 on overdrives because then you get a lot more push into the amp and you force it to, you know, bend to your will.
Yeah.
Give you more stuff.
Aaron wants to know how the Rev compares to the Kemper version.
Well, I did a episode not too long ago about Kemper versus everybody and Helix versus everybody and whatnot.
Don't drink too much there.
No, I won't.
A little sipper.
True serum. Well, basically, the Kemper just as a whole has more texture. It's just more texture. And it's a third-dimensional type product where everything else that I've played in comparison to it is like a two-dimensional. They still sound great, you know. It's just there's just another level of texture and aggression on a Kemper that the other units just haven't been able to replicate yet. You know, it doesn't mean that they're not good. It's just when you compare the two, somebody has to there's differences and they have to be noticed and admitted to, and that's basically what it is. So let's try that same passage again so I can redeem myself and hopefully not play it horribly.
Vocal Pathfinder says compression for more sustain. It's a question mark.
For a natural tube amp, you get natural tube compression, but usually you'll want that for clean tones. That's a great question too, by the way, Dan. But when you're looking for more sustain and stuff like that on a distorted tone such as this, what you want to do is push the amp harder with an overdrive and maybe add a little more saturation, because most people's lead channels are dialed in differently than their rhythm channel. They're not as tight. They're a little looser, and it's for that reason, so that they have more gain, so that they can, the notes will sing longer. So let's see how it works this time.
One quick thing. Scott wants to know, are you an up and down or rotational picker? It's hard to tell from the video.
Oh.
So he can pay attention.
I don't know. I never really thought about it.
Guess we'll find out.
I do alternate picking. So I do alternate picking, so I'm more of an up and down guy, I think. I've never been asked that before. Now I'm going to think about it.
All right. I'll mute.
It's your fault if I make mistakes. There it is. I mean, as you guys heard, I mean, there was way more sustain, so I found the magic number, and then and that's why you test, because you're like, all right, let's take this for a spin and make sure, kind of like a mechanic before he hands you the keys to the car you just fixed. So he takes it for a test drive. So I noticed that there was a level that was down to 5. I turned that up, and I turned the gain up to 5.5 from 4.7. Yeah. And right there is the magic, spot. So that sounds really good. So now you probably notice that the delay it's a little heavy for a singled out track, but in a mix, trust me, that's a great setting. You'll hear all your notes better. In fact, it might even have to be a little louder in a mix. But I thought that sounded pretty good.
Ben says, I thought the Helix was the cream of the crop until he A-B'd the Helix against the Kemper in a music store. The amps are truly 3D in the Kemper with more life and articulation than the Helix.
Yeah, there's definitely a difference. I think that a lot of people, it depends on what genre you play. Because if you play like low to mid gain tones and a lot of cleans, yes, there's still a difference, but it's not as noticeable until you get into the high gain kind of realm. When you get into the high gain realm, that's when things really start jumping out at you, So I still think it sounds good, though. I mean, don't get me wrong. I still think that this sounds really good. It's kind of the hard thing about when you have lots of gear. Now you have lots of things to compare it to, and
They want you to run a backing track and play a song.
Oh, good. Okay. So what we'll do is we'll have to close out of that. So you can just close out. I'm kind of prepared for this. So, and then just open up that app. Okay. So go ahead. And we're going to have a little bit of a ramp going into this, and then I'll start playing along with it.
Okay. I'm going to mute this.
Yep.
Nope.
Turn that down. And go back to the YouTubes.
Background play is on. Dwike.
Okay. Okay, so that's basically how it sounds in a mix. Hopefully I had the levels adjusted properly, but that's kind of what we did there. It was just a quick kind of last minute thing. Just in case somebody asks, they want to hear it in a mix. There you go. So that's the same part of the song that I used in my video that I did about the update too, so that you can have something to compare it to.
This is the video that I'm seeing is different from what.
Oh. That's because it's a little behind. So what you want to do is, I don't know if you can fast forward or not.
Okay.
Yeah, so there you go.
Scott says, nice playing to the track, maybe dumb question, but is there any harmonizing function?
Yeah, you can put a harmonizer in here. I haven't done that yet on this one, but on this patch. But I mean, you can certainly add a harmonizer, you know, and put that.
There are
in
no
there.
dumb questions. We want all the questions.
Yeah, we want all the questions.
And no, we're not a church band act.
Did somebody ask that?
Yeah.
No, we're not a church band act. So basically, yeah, so that's kind of what it sounds like. And, so you know, for you guys, I'll re-upload. I'll upload this one and you can compare it to the other one that I uploaded and then pick the one that works best for you, you know, so that's kind of what you can do. But I think it's a cool amp, and I think a lot of guys, like I said, are going to be switching to it just because it's got the new car smell. And it is a pretty cool amp as far as when you compare it to the other ones in the Helix. I think they did a good job on it, and it's definitely a good contender and a good option for you, especially if you're especially you whippersnappers. If you're a EVH guy, this one's a little fatter and it's not so cold sounding, if that makes sense. You know, maybe they've changed some algorithms, I don't know, but this one sounds pretty good, you know, compared to that. So anyways,
oh goodness. Hey Dave Salvador.
What's up, Dave? How you doing?
No, you're sexy.
No, you are.
James Miller, thank you for the compliment. He says the original music is great, Carrie's vocals, and your playing sound awesome together.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate that.
Soon enough, we'll be able to do it live.
Couple more weeks.
Yeah.
Getting nervous.
I know.
Yeah.
Let's see. Daryl says, I love the new REV model. It's cool they collaborated with REV on it. I also own a REV generator, 740 MK2.
So what do you think of it? What did you think of it compared to this? I want to know, because I haven't played a REV in real life. I've played profiles of a REV, and I played this. So I don't really know, you know, what to expect. I do have real tube amps upstairs. I have all the Synergy stuff with a real power amp, but the REV's not in that mix. So
Keith, the lyrics say caught in a trance.
Caught in a trance.
Yep, not caught in a trap.
Yeah.
Or cracks. Caught in a trance.
Yes. So in other news, let me go to this video.
Hi, Jason and Mia.
Hello.
They're all watching with
Dave.
Dave.
What's going on, you guys? Good to see you. We had a good time the other night seeing them. Okay, so let me play this commercial that Kemper released today. There's no sound. I apologize. I don't know why there's not any sound when I downloaded it.
You'll
but
make plenty of sound.
Yeah, so maybe we'll just add a little commentary here and there, but we'll try not to interrupt too much. So watch this, and then we'll come back and talk about it.
Woohoo.
There's the toaster. There's the floor controller. Ooh, somatic. And here we go. Oh, snap. Look at that. Profile of space.
What do you guys think?
I think
you can always subscribe to the page.
2 effects. Profiling. That was some people.
They say there is sound. They're saying they can hear sound.
Oh. Should come back to us in a second. Okay, what do you guys think? That was pretty stinking cool.
Dave says Jason said he wants one because it looks sweet and he doesn't even know what it is.
No, it's a really cool piece of gear. So there was a lot of speculation, like on the forums and on the Facebook groups today. I saw a lot of people going, "Oh, I don't know if we need that," and people are saying it probably is just like a controller with maybe a couple amps in it, and it probably doesn't have the same functions as the toaster or the rack unit. If it's not powered, I don't know if I want one. What if somebody spills their beer on it while it's in the stage, and all this kind of stuff, and it probably doesn't profile. Well, it does profile, so let's get that out of the way. It will still profile. And it looks to me like it's a fully functional unit, and it has 2 effects units or loops on it as opposed to 1. Yeah. So there are some upgrades. And some people were saying, well, like, why did they upgrade the screen, the interface on it? Yeah. But I think they had reasons to do all that, and I'm not getting paid by Kemper.
So that they can do it in the future and get more money.
Yeah, that's probably one of them.
Scott says, interesting, but what did they leave out to shoehorn that intro? Huh?
I don't know. I'm not sure. Yeah, I know what he's saying. Like maybe they left out some stuff that it doesn't do or whatever. But I know it profiles. I know I don't know how many profiles it'll hold, but I mean, I think the one that now is 1100 or something like that. But how many profiles do you need? I mean.
That's a lot of options.
That's a lot of like,
hours trying to decide.
It's a lot of option paralysis is what it is. So I think that even if it only held 500, I mean, I wouldn't be pissed off about that. I mean, geez, 500 profiles? Geez. I mean, you can only
lock
use one
yourself
at a time.
in a room for 6 months.
Yeah, and here's the other thing. Some people were like, well, man, why don't you just give us a new editor instead and this and that? And it's like, okay, look. This is just my opinion, okay? This is just the way I look at it. I'm not paid by Kemper to do this. I'm not a sycophant Kemper, super fan guy. I like all gear. As long as it's good, I don't care.
Yeah.
So no one's paying me to say these things. So...
Although we wish that they were.
Yeah, we do. So this is what I'll say. I think that we've played a lot of gigs, and I've always had, this Helix here or any other unit that I've used, whether it's pedals or pedal boards or whatever, in front of my stage. And in the 7 years we've been doing gigs, I've never had somebody spill their beer on my rig.
Right.
Not saying it's impossible, but it's...
Thank you, Jesus.
Yeah. Thank you, Jesus. But it just hasn't happened, I mean, it could, but I mean, I don't know. Because any guitar player that's performing is going to have an array of pedals in front of them regardless. So
By the way, don't do that. If you're at a concert... and you're standing in the front row, don't put your drink on the stage.
Don't put your drink up there. That's kind of a douche move.
Lots of expensive equipment.
Yeah, exactly. So, all right, so you got that, and then people are saying, well, it's on the floor,
Aaron says there is a new editor. I thought it said it didn't have one, but...
Well, it's a software program on your computer. There is a new editor coming. I don't know when it's going to get released, but I don't use them.
Yeah.
Here's why. Okay.
Tell us.
Now,
tell us why.
I'm not trying to be high-minded here, but when you use an editor, you're sitting at your computer and most likely plugging your Kemper into that, and you're playing through computer speakers or maybe some studio monitors. The problem with that is, do you play through your studio monitors live? Do you play through them at band practice? No. So, I think you should do your editing in your living room where your cab is, or wherever your practice space is, or whatever. And
well, it's in your living room.
Yeah, it's in my living room. Exactly. So plug into your cab and edit it through that, because that's really the real world. Now, here's the other thing. The Kemper is not a tweaker's dream. It's a player's dream.
Yeah.
It's not made for guys that, want to sit on their computer and type keys all day and trick stuff up and like, oh, let's bump the mids and let's lower that and let's boot this and...
But you can just do it with knobs.
Why do you have to... with knobs, exactly. You can do it on the interface of the unit itself. So why are you doing all that crap? Because here's the thing. while you're turning knobs and tweaking things and dragging and dropping and this and that on your computer, I'm playing. I'm enjoying, I'm practicing, I'm writing music, I'm playing music, I'm
Annoying
getting my
your neighbors.
Yeah, I'm annoying my neighbors. I'm getting my face melted by, the cabs that are, so enjoy that. It's kind of reminds me of a guy who gets like one of those soldier video games, I'm trying to think of I
Halo?
always forget like let's say it's Halo. You're gonna get Halo, and you're gonna go in that spot on Halo where you trick your guy up, and I'm gonna give him this helmet and these pants and these boots and this little pink gun, and then I'm gonna go prance around the battlefield, and it's like, dude, while you're doing all that, while you're dialing in all that crap, guys are out there just mowing people down and enjoying themselves while you're putting Daisy Dukes on your fighter, dude.
Scott's agreeing. Scott's agreeing with you. He says, Jared, you're so right. The profiles that sound awesome in the bedroom don't sound right online. And then Aaron says, I think an editor is used for a floor pedal, but you need to know how to edit quickly from the unit as well.
Yeah, because you can get into that whole option paralysis thing and start going freaking crazy with like all that stuff. And a lot of times you're going to edit yourself right out of good tone. You're just going to treat it like a freaking amp. That's what I tell everybody. And with the Kemper, I pick a profile, okay? And if I like the profile and I see that it has a lot of potential, I'll turn the gain, if necessary, the bass, mid, treble, presence, and the volume accordingly to what it needs, just like I would an amp if I brought an amp home from the store and plugged it into my cab. And if those knobs don't fix it, I move on to the next one. But I don't bother with it unless I think it's worth bothering with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I don't really think that, the whole editor thing, I mean, God bless you guys if you want one, but I'll probably never use it. I don't need it. I pick a profile, I turn the knobs a little bit, I spend about a minute or two on it, and I just play and do my thing. And once you have a profile that you like, just play, practice, write music, tour, whatever you're going to do, and just stop tweaking and just do your thing.
Thanks, Ben.
Thank you, Ben. Thank you very much for the super chat. Thank you so much. It really means the world to us, man. Yeah. Seriously, we really appreciate that.
Well, we've been talking about this for about an hour. It's almost 8 o'clock. Do you want to switch it up?
To
the Kemper?
That's what we're talking about.
I know. Oh, I thought you were going to show them.
Oh, no, I can't do that.
That's right.
Yeah, I got all this stuff here, and it would take me an hour to set it all up. It takes forever to do that. So, so basically...
You're like, that's what we're doing here.
All right.
Earlier, no.
Want some of this?
No, I thought you were going to show it and play it.
No, not tonight. Not tonight, but we want to know what you guys think. I mean, do you think that this is a good move for them? And what do you think the price would be? And what do you think it should be? Is it something that you would switch to? What do you think the benefits are? I think, personally, the benefits are, the fact that, like, for me, I have, like, right here, my Helix is right on my pedal board here. And when we play live, I use it for switching my Synergy rig and for effects. Now, if you've seen my video about the Helix versus Headrush versus Kemper regarding effects, the Helix definitely held its ground really well in that video. Personally, I like the effects in the Kemper a little better. Yeah. It wasn't leaps and bounds, but they were better in my opinion for what I do. Yeah. Okay, and for what I look for. So for me, it would benefit me because now I have a Kemper stage that I can use for 4-cable method because it will operate that way and give me effects that I prefer. But it also will act as an all-in-one rig, and I don't have to switch pedal boards and do that. I got one pedal board that has everything on it. So if something went down live and my tube amps got screwed up for whatever reason, I could switch to the Kemper like that and have great tone out of that anyway, either way. So
Jason wants to hear you play something. He's a new fan.
Oh, hey, Jason.
That's Dave's Mia's.
Yeah. So let me.
Should we go back?
Yeah, go back to what? No,
The
no, no,
track?
no, 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 no.
No?
Keep that up. And we'll just mute for a second. Let me think of something to play for a second here, because, like, put me on the spot.
Is there anything in the song that you wrote about your jury? Is there a solo or anything?
I don't have
Not
the right
wrong
guitar
guitar.
for it. Wrong guitar. So, but yeah, let me just. I'll just play some stuff for you. This is all random crap, so I hope you enjoy it.
What? Wow, there's so many song suggestions on here. Freebird, Enter Sandman, Smoke of the Nickelback.
Nickelback.
Really?
Yeah. The problem with YouTube is there's an algorithm, and
Yeah.
if you play any cover songs, they will demonetize you, and I just can't. That's why I play a lot of rando riffs when I'm on here. I either play our original stuff or just riffs that I know won't be picked up by the algorithm. So that's what I do.
What songs do you play with the purple one?
In our set, I do
The first one.
Yeah, the first one.
We already played that.
Yeah, we already played that, and I can't play the whole thing because this patch isn't set up for that. There's no cleans and stuff like that, so I can't really, we're not really set up to play a song tonight. Sorry, but we will soon. In a couple weeks, we'll actually be performing live for everybody.
Dave says he feels like he just took a tab of acid. That was awesome. We do not condone that.
Thank you.
Is there a subject you have yet to touch on in Anastasia material you'd love to eventually get to? Gosh.
That's a good question.
Yeah. We've been out of the writing mode for a minute, focusing on getting this set up, and...
Yeah.
No.
I think, the one that we started working on before we got kind of sidelined or sidetracked with all this was a song about how
The police one?
Well, that's an older one, but the one where I saw a story about a snake that got wound around a saw, and the saw kept cutting into the snake, and every time it cut into the snake would react by trying to clench down on the saw, and then it cut into him more, and then he'd clench down more, and it's kind of like that whole thing where a lot of times with us, it just spoke to me because a lot of time with us that we get caught up in things where bad things happen to us, and we don't realize that our response to that made it even worse, which made that worse, which, it's just this horrible, like, back and forth that just turns you into a person that's just cut up in pieces. And if you would have just let go, things would have been better. So I wanted to take that and make a song out of it, and we were working on that, and then, this whole channel started blowing up, and we wanted to perform live here and change our direction. As opposed to playing live locally, we wanted to do it here more, so we started doing that. So, but when things settle down, we'll be able to start working on that again.
Yeah, and we have the other one about emergency responders and just appreciation for that. And
that one's all done except for lyrics. Yeah, we got to finish the lyrics
Yeah.
and
What their families must go through while they're
Yeah.
out saving other people and things
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. Yep. So what do we got here?
Yeah, it says, what commercial profilers do you use for the Kemper?
Oh, good question. I have used Live Ready Sound. I have used Reamp Zone. I've used some of Sin Mix's stuff, GGD, and I tried a few others. I can't remember off the top of my head. A lot of them. I've heard great things about Michael Britt too, but I haven't used any of his yet. There was a couple stock ones that were in there that were just kind of okay, but I'm sure he makes better ones than the ones I tried. So I don't want to judge him on that because I've heard great things about him. But Rebbe made some about the Kraken that I thought were pretty good. So yeah, there's some good stuff out there. You know, that's the thing about the Kemper is that it's only as good as the profiles that you use. So if you got a crappy profile, it's not the Kemper's fault. It's the profile. Just switch profiles, find one that you like, and the Kemper will, definitely support all that very well.
They want to know if we're on Spotify. If Anastasia's on Spotify.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
Yep,
Just got to
you can
spell
find
it
us.
right.
Yeah. ANASTACI.
Yep, it's Dave spelled it right in the comments.
Ah, good.
That's how you,
Thank you.
that's how you spell it.
Yeah.
Well, we're getting a lot of band questions.
Yeah,
Let's
that's
see.
fine. That's fine.
What musical experience you deeply regret the most? What would you have done differently in that situation?
Musical.
Oh, when we went to that festival.
Oh my God. Yeah.
So hot. It must have been
Yeah.
100 degrees.
It was 106
Yeah.
when we went on stage.
Yeah.
And the fans were just like, it was almost like they were blowing oven air.
It was
you.
Cornerstone?
Cornerstone,
Oh my gosh,
yeah.
that was years ago.
Yeah, it was several years ago, and it was really bad.
We traveled to a different state, Indiana?
It was 12 hours?
Was it
No, it was Chicago. Like
No.
it was like it was like a 12-hour drive,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
I don't remember where it was.
It was a 13-hour drive back. I do remember that because I drove it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was rough going down there because they promise you the world, and then you get there and there's hardly anybody there, and
it's hot.
it was so hot, and it was just horrible. We saw Neil Morstead the night before though, and he was dealing with the same thing, playing really, horrible heat. But
I think the things that we regret the most are the money that we've spent doing this and not getting a return on it.
Yeah, the pay to play.
Yeah.
We'll never do it again.
Yeah.
Pay to play is a joke. We did episodes about that. So that's the stuff. I mean, you got to get something out of it, and a lot of musicians fall for that whole like, oh, you're gonna get exposure.
Somebody's going to be in the audience,
Yeah.
and they're going to hand you a contract.
No,
And
that's so far from the truth. That'll never happen to anybody. That's a joke. So don't buy into that crap.
tell us how you really feel.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's see. Jack says, "Hey man, watched your live show last week, and I grabbed the fat metal profiles you had through the Kemper. My God, so impressed. The Archon profile is incredible."
Yeah, thank you. That Archon is good. I had some friends that really liked that one too when they came over to my house, and we were kind of beta testing them, and he's like, "Dude, I'm kind of gravitating towards this Archon right now."
The Archon is that one cab when we were at Paul's studio, right? Didn't you have somebody bring in an Archon?
Yes, someone brought in the Archon. Yeah, it was a cool amp, really cool. So yeah, thank you. I'm glad that you like that. But to sum up that question, I mean, just basically do things that reward you. This isn't about you always giving. You should get something back. It's a business. And until you treat it like one, it's not going to treat you like you're in business. Yeah. You know what I mean? So you have to look at it like, all right, I'm going to go out and perform, and yes, I'm going to love it, but just because I love what I do doesn't mean that I don't deserve to get compensated for it. Yeah. I own a pressure washing business, and I do love what I do. But I'm not going to do it just because I love it. I'm going to do it because I need to make money so I can feed myself and pay my bills, And music is, I love that more, but that also doesn't mean that I shouldn't be rewarded, But I also have to be worth it.
Yeah.
So there's like this whole yin and yang with it all. So you just got to find a happy place with it all,
Let's see. Jason. Updated my Helix last night. It froze halfway through. Now it's bricked and won't... What? WCEN? And won't do safe mode commands.
Oh, that's weird. Are you on Windows 10? You should be on Windows 10. And there is a error message when you update it. It'll show on your Helix, but look at your computer screen. That's normal, and it'll say click to continue. The error message is normal. Click to continue, and it'll work. It's just an extra step this time because they're doing like the Helix Core, which is like a part of their whole update. So try that and make sure your Windows 10. I had a buddy, Phil Anatucci, called me last night. He was having issues with it, and he ended up switching to another laptop that had Windows 10 on it, and it went seamlessly. It went fine. So even with Windows 10, you will get an error message on your screen on your Helix, but on your computer, it'll tell you click to continue. And when you do that, it'll finish the update. So, and if that doesn't work, try a different hub on your computer for your USB. Sometimes the Helix just doesn't like a certain hub that you're using for whatever reason. So try that too. What else we got?
That's it.
Okay. So as far as the Kemper goes, I would say, let's see what happens. Let's see what happens with the Kemper floor or the Kemper stage. I want to see how it affects the market. And what's cool about that is it affects all of us. We all win when companies compete against each other because we end up with better products. And they're pushing each other to up their game so that they can beat them at what they just did. And then we, like I said, we win. We end up with better products. So one of the messages I put in there was like, is this a Helix killer? I mean, I don't know. Depending on who you are and what your needs are and what you like, it might be. I don't think it's going to kill the Helix, but I think it's definitely going to challenge it. And but the Helix conversely challenged other people when it came out because the interface was amazing on it. It still is. So if you notice, like XFX3, when they came out with their XFX3, they didn't have that crappy Motorola Space Invaders screen anymore. They upped it, and it looked very similar to what the Helix did. So they kind of pushed them in a direction where they needed to go. So that's what's so good about this stuff, is that we're always getting better stuff, And am I going to get one if the price is right? Most likely. I want to check it out. I want to review it. I want to do some episodes about it. And, if it's something that I think will fit perfectly within my rig, I will definitely incorporate it in my rig. Why not? So, what?
Why not?
Why not? America. So that's what we're going to do. We'll check it out and do some. And I do have, speaking of things coming up, I do have the Harley Benton 2x12 with vintage 30s in it coming within a week. And that I'm going to put up against the Mesa 2x12 with vintage 30s. And we'll see which one's better, because the Mesa is about $750 and the Harley Benton's under $200. So I want to see same cab, same birch, Baltic birch cab. I want to see how they stack up against each other. So that's a shootout that's coming up soon.
It's really cool to see you guys jumping in and helping Jason. Jason said he did whatever tip you gave him, and then there's other people giving him some suggestions. So that's cool, you guys.
Well, it's a good community, There's a lot of good communities out there for this, and it really does come in handy. So, but, I'm really, really super curious about this.
MK says he's looking forward to speaker comparison.
Oh, good. Yeah. I am too, and I'm kind of freaking out about it because I spent $750 on each of my Mesa cabs. And that was a lot of money. It was $1,500. And if this Harley Benton comes in and sounds just as good for under $200,
they're going back.
No. Probably too late for that, but I'm going to be a little butthurt.
Hey, if they don't send my in-ears, they're going back.
They're going back. Yeah, I'm going to be butthurt. But here's the thing. This is the reason why I did it, because when I was going to buy my Mesa cabs, I did, how what you guys do. You go on YouTube and you do, like, Mesa cab versus whatever. And I saw Glenn Fricker do a shootout with the Mesa cab versus the Harley Benton. And he said that he recommended it, and Glenn's pretty picky, and I was like, all right, but
there's the yawn.
Oh yeah,
I have to do it once.
But I heard his video and I heard the mic'd version of the cab, and I was like, I didn't think that the Harley Benton sounded better. I thought the Mesa sounded leaps and bounds better than the Harley Benton. I thought the Harley Benton sounded small and overly focused, which are two things I hate about a cab. But I saw Tone King. He was at Toman, and they did a review and a shootout between the two exact same cabs, the Mesa, and the Harley Benton, and they sounded exactly the same on the mic. So I'm like, well, now it's inconclusive. Inconclusive. I have to find out for myself, for my damn self. And I'll share the results with you guys. And honestly, if I think, well, you'll hear it. You got ears, you'll hear it too. Like, I'll tell you what I think, but if it's just as good, why spend all that money when you can get something just as good? You know, for under $200. I mean, that's a great deal. It's less than vintage 30s, you know. So I don't see how you can go wrong with that, you know. I just hope it works.
Looks like they're still trying to help Jason out.
Oh, good. Yeah. Well, it's nice when you have, you know, good help out there. Mm-hmm. I wish I had more information for you, but I mean, that's what I found. It's like bad hub, you know, that just doesn't like a certain hub, you know, USB, you know, jack on your computer. Go to Windows 10 and make sure that you read the computer screen, not the Helix. The computer screen will tell you, like, go ahead and bypass the error message and hit continue, and it'll finalize everything. But make sure you back it up first, because that could be a problem.
Oh, yeah.
You know. So he said the update can't read the Helix because it's stuck in boot mode.
I can't even get it to do anything in safe mode. Gosh,
I don't know what to tell you, man.
Turn it off and back on?
Sometimes you can. I've done it. I've been there before, and I've done it. So what we got?
2 V30s alone over $200. No.
Yeah. Yep. No? Yep. There's 2 vintage 30s in this Harley Benton cab, and it's a 2x12 Baltic birch cab, and it's $196, $196, somewhere around there is what I paid for it. That is so cheap, and that's what everybody says. You can't even get the speakers for that much. But that's what retail is on them.
I hope they sound good.
I hope it don't. I hope it sounds like crap, because then I'll be like, yeah, that's right. That's why I spent all this money on the Mesa cabs. Because like I said, if it sounds really good, I'm gonna be butthurt, man. I'm gonna be freaking pissed.
Dave, we're gonna have to hear about it for a year.
A year. Yeah. So. Anyways, but yeah, we wanted to see. I wanted to share this in the Kemper group, you know, so that they could chime in. Did you share this on my page yet?
Well, I did.
Because we had all those issues live. Yeah, we had all these issues live, and we got caught up in that. So, yeah, I was expecting more Kemper guys in here, you know, to check this out, but we forgot to share it in the Kemper group, so they'll chime in later. Yeah. You know, they'll chime in later for it. But yeah, how long have we been on?
An hour and 15 minutes.
Hour and 15 minutes. Let me do this. Let me just share this real quick and see if any of the Kemper guys are going to come in. And we'll see what they have to say about this. Yeah, I'm still... There it is, live.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird on my phone.
I wonder if when I hit the link in my phone, how many shows do you need to play to pay off new gear?
Well, 1,000. Yeah. because you never get paid around here. I mean, you just get ripped off. You know, that's usually what you get around here. Like, oh, thanks for your time, you know. You're lucky to get a free beer.
You would never be able to play enough gigs to pay off the gear.
Yep, not around here. You know, I mean, I've been handed $50. I've been handed 12, 24. You know, right around there. I mean, that's why we decided to just start performing here, because it doesn't cost us anything. We can go live here. We have a wider
audience too. I mean, this is global.
Yep.
It's not just local. It's, you know.
Yep. And just so you guys know, too, it's not just like a performance. We're not just going to be up here playing and singing and like that's it. We're going to actually play a song, interact with you guys, and answer questions and have some back and forth. And then...
wouldn't that be awesome to be able to do at a concert? You go see your favorite band and, you know, you'd be able to talk back and forth and answer questions and... You know, talk about the gear you're using or why you wrote the song or just...
anything. Yeah.
What's your favorite color? It's purple.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's what you do. I mean, it's just better. It's more fun for everybody to be able to do that.
Jason says he's freaking out. I'm freaking out, man. I'm so sorry.
Freaking out.
But,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. I'm sorry, man. I wish there was something I could do. I think there's a master reset on the Helix too. There's you push two buttons and push something else, and then it'll restart. I've had to do that before. You might want to look in the instructions for that. And I apologize if I don't know the answer, but I mean that could help you. But yeah, so sometimes with products, if I feel like it's stuck in a boot mode, I'll just unplug
He smashes them.
No, I've
He
done
smashes
that.
them.
I've done it, but I've actually
So bad.
yeah, I
You don't work? I'm going to make you not work.
Yeah, I'll give you. It's like your kids, I'll give you something to cry about. But what I do is I'll just unplug it and start it up again because I look at it this way. It's not working anyway. So what do I got to lose? I'm not saying to do that, but I'm just saying I've done that before and it's worked for me. So, but read your manual, yeah, but not smashing. But
Ben says, I think the new Kemper will combine the routing options of the Helix in the killer tone of Kemper. I think the new Kemper is a game changer. I think it does big numbers.
Yeah, I think you're right, Ben. I really do. And I think that because it has two effects loops, it's got all the I/O that you can need. It's MIDI, and it's still got the great tone that Kemper offers, and it's got all the other stuff. So I don't see how it's going to be a miss. The only way it's going to be a miss is if they overprice it.
Yeah.
If they price it so far in the stratosphere that it's like, why would you buy this? Then, yeah, I mean, everybody's got their limits. Yes, it's a great product, but to switch gear to something to like that and to have to dial in a bunch of stuff, it's worth it. But like I said, the price has to be right. Otherwise, a lot of people are going to go, yeah, it's better than the thing I'm using right now, but I'm not going to part with that much money for it. So I think the magic number is going to be around the mid $1,500 to $1,800 range, right around there. If they hit that price point, they're going to fly off the shelves. If they go over that, it's going to be a slow crawl.
Yeah.
It really is, and I hope they're smart enough to realize that, So.
That's it. We're up to date. Oh. Yeah, I'm waiting. They say it's up to 3 days for help. I want to play now. Oh, they're still working on his.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I'm sorry, man. If it was me, I'm not saying to do this, but if it was me, I'd unplug it.
If musicians don't get paid, the gear market will collapse. True.
Yeah, what's funny is you're right. What's funny is the people that seem to be making money in the music industry are the people who make gear.
Yeah.
And a lot of the people who review gear,
Reviews.
not me yet, I'm working on it, but gear reviews and gear demonstrators and stuff like that, and people that teach, things, people in the tech end of things, they're the ones, the manufacturers, all them, but the musicians are the last people to get paid, it seems, and something needs to get done about it, and that's what we're trying to fix for ourselves. So that's what we're trying to do. So, but I think that Ben's right. I think it's going to be a game changer. I really do. And I will say this too. Line 6 also released the Power Cab. I think it's the Power Cab. It's a stereo version with 2 speakers in it. The Power Cab 2 or Power Cab, something like that. And Frank Rachat said to me today that he's going to make it happen so that I can review that for you guys. Yeah. So that's kind of cool, Yeah. So I'm looking forward to that, and hopefully when they send it to me, I can. And I am a consumer advocate. When I do reviews, I do them for you guys. I want you guys to know the truth about something, and I give you my honest opinion about it. I will give you an honest shot at the gear. I give it an honest shot to shine or to fail or to shine and show a little bit of a flaw, because nothing's perfect, but we'll point those out and then weigh them in and go, yeah, but it's not really that big a deal or whatever. And I try to be honest. I'm not a company shill, I'm not a corporate shill. I don't try to just say something's good because someone's lying in my pockets. I review gear honestly, and I want people to make purchases based on me telling you the honest truth about what I think about a piece of gear. And I show it. I'll show it in the video. I'll mic it properly. I don't sabotage it to make it look bad and make this one better or whatever. I try to make things fair because I'm the one learning too. I'm the one that's going to end up deciding on whether or not I'm going to buy this or use it or prefer this over something else, because I'm learning too. All I'm doing is sharing my learning experience with you. It's basically what it is. So what I try to do with this channel is just be a consumer advocate. You know, I want all of us to learn, you know, what's best, and no one's going to line my pockets so that I say something's great, you know. So that's how I do it.
Michael Mislowski. Hey,
Hey, what's going on, man? Cheers, sir.
Yes.
Good to see you.
Penn says YouTube currently has no viable gear reviewers. They have plenty of gear demonstrators and advertisers.
There's a lot of them, you know, and I'm not trying to like put myself above anybody because I'm not, but there are a lot of people that get paid a lot of money to do demonstrations, but they don't really tell you what they think of it.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, oh man, I just wish you would tell me what you thought of this, because you have all this stuff there and you've reviewed so many things and demonstrated so many things. I'd like to see how this compares to other things, you know, and that's why I do shootouts, because everything, the only piece of gear in the room is the best piece of gear in the room. Like right now, I'm the best guitar player in this room because I'm the only guitar player in this room.
Gosh darn it!
and you can hit the highest notes in the room, right? You're the best singer in the room because you're the only singer in here. But what you want is like to compare things so that you know what really is best, you know.
Michael, what part of the world are you in, man? He says, I raised my 4th cappuccino to you. Cheers. I'd be up till next Tuesday if I did that.
Yeah, because it's like we're in Michigan,
and
it's 8:22 p.m. here.
In the evening.
Yeah, so what part of the world are you in? Just having cappuccino.
In Canada.
Oh, BC, British Columbia. Okay, so you're interesting. What time is it there, Michael? That's what I want to know. Yeah, that's interesting.
He's the best. You're the best guitarist in the chair.
Yeah, I am. I'm the best guitar player in this chair right now with a purple guitar. This is the purpliest guitar in the room. Yeah, so I mean that's just the way it works, and that's why I like to do shootouts, so that you know, that's why you should compare when you shop, you know, when you get a piece of gear. I mean, when you go get a new television, you look at the ones around the one that you came in to see, right? And, well, this one has a better picture. Well, why is that? And you know, and you pick the one that looks the best. You know, the most clarity, the most options, and then price comes into play. It's the same thing with gear. You should always, when you go to a store, you know, you see like a certain cab or a product, you should line it up next to something else and make sure that when you walk out, you made the right choice. You know, that's really, and honestly, I know this because the videos that I do that are shootouts are always get way more views than just regular, like, hey, here's a product and I'm gonna
comparing the game.
I'm gonna give you a review of this product, but comparing videos always do way better on my channel, so it's the way it is. Did Mick say what time it is?
2 hours earlier there.
Oh, so, man, you're having a 4th cappuccino at 6?
Yeah, I'd still be up till next Tuesday.
You know what? I've had coffee at 9:00 at night, so it's not uncommon. It's not. I might even have one tonight because I still got a lot to do. So, but yeah, it's good for you, man. It's good to see you, Michael. Michael. What else we got here? That's it. Okay, so again, just to recap, the update on the Line 6 Helix is pretty cool. Love the Rev amp. I think that as far as the amps in the Helix go, I think that's going to be a good contender for metal guys. The King of Tone pedal, I think they did a good job on. I've never played the real one, but this one's actually pretty damn cool. You know, the features on it, there's lots of options, especially for a distortion / boost overdrive pedal. There's a lot of features for it. Let's see what happens with the Kemper stage. You know, I'm really curious to see what happens with it. I will be reviewing it. Come hell or high water, I'm getting my hands on that thing. And coming up is going to be Anastasi live soon with
weeks.
gear reviews and live performances and hangouts with you guys. We'll be doing those probably once a month, once every other month, depending. And then the Harley Benton 2x12 versus the Mesa 2x12. Again, same speakers, vintage 30s. And I'm going to be doing a shootout between the Live Ready Sound Fat Metal profiles and the GGD profiles. I'll be doing that soon.
And as soon as my new custom in-ears get delivered,
we're going to do a review of those.
Yes.
And
these ones are already hurting.
Yeah,
my ears are not happy right now.
We're going to get her thoughts on those. And yeah. And like, what's the difference between custom in-ears and like the ones you got now? Is it worth the money? You know, we'll talk about that because we're going to do several band practices before, so we can give you an educated, right?
Sure.
An educated, not first impressions, but an educated. Because a lot of times people get something and they like it for a couple of weeks. They're like, "Oh, this is amazing," and then the honeymoon phase wears off, and then you're like, "It's not so amazing." So we want to get past that and give you the honest truth about them.
Yep. Kudos to you and other YouTubers for doing what you do. You help a lot of people. That's from MK.
Oh, thank you very much. Really appreciate that. We enjoy it. You know, it's a lot of work, but we do enjoy it. You know.
You can perform covers in clubs. Will you be able to on YouTube?
No, unfortunately not. You got to get a special permission from the bands and the management companies for that. I mean, if I played Smoke on the Water right now, this live stream might even be shut down, and I would get demonetized. I mean, that's how strict they are now. So it's like, it's crazy. You can't do anything even remotely close. Certain channels have permission because they have a status that allows them that, or a relationship with whoever those are. But I don't have that, and I definitely don't want to get demonetized because I just got monetized like 4 months ago. So I don't want to get demonetized, you know. So I'm a little overly cautious about it right now, but we'll see how things roll in the future. I'll do some more research on it, but for now, I'm going to play it safe. you know.
He's thanking everybody for the help.
Oh, good. I'm glad he got some help. I mean, you know, seriously, best of luck to you. Is it Jason?
Yep.
Yeah, best of luck to you, Jason. Hopefully you get that worked out, man. I feel sorry for you. I've been there.
Yeah.
I've had stuff where we had a gig that night and I had to update.
That was a day.
Remember that?
Yes, I do. You were like, never again. I'm never updating on gig day.
Nope, never again, because I went nuts trying to get this thing working.
Did you put a...
Yep, I destroyed that door.
Yep,
there's a door right there to my gym. I literally destroyed that door.
I think
got
we
so
just
mad.
painted over the blood.
I have a scar right here.
Yes.
From when I put my fist all the way through the door. So I understand your pain. I really do. And there was blood splatters all over the wall for when I hit the door so hard. My hand was like, it was bad. And I had to do a show that night. With my all banged up hand, so
we're so lucky. So lucky.
I'm a nice guy, but when things go wrong, sometimes I lose my crap. I'm not immune to losing my shit. Well, anyways, hey, thanks guys for stopping by. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed this as much as we did.
Thank you for the super chat.
Yes, thank you, Ben, for the super chat. Thanks, everyone, for stopping by and saying hello. And for people that are watching this later, please let you know what you think about the update of Line 6, the amps that are in there, the pedals, and the new Kemper stage. Yeah, the Kemper stage unit, and whether or not you think you're going to buy that. So, we were going to get out of here, and again, thank you very much for stopping by. We appreciate you more than we can say, and stay tuned for upcoming episodes very soon. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.